is funny. Okay. Yellow composing gloves here.
And Jordan.
And we are here to make some beautiful music for you people. And give it a go. That's so great right there. That's great. I love that part. So we'll just go up to there. Yeah. Man. It's just relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like
I really like what you did with like you have the
Jordan has prepared for us a masterpiece.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is definitely a piece.
So today we're gonna look at it, touch it up, see what we can do with it, and then my goal, it's kind of a lofty goal, is to complete an entire beat with Jordan.
Yes.
We're gonna see if we can do this. So here we go. So show me what you got.
All right.
I think this is a massive step up from last time. Like this is consistent. It's got a vibe. Yeah, I think this is so good.
I kind of messed up on the end, but yeah.
Now, you notice the crunchy sound you hear? That sounds like.
Yes, I did notice.
That's called clipping.
Clipping.
And so, hit play again.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna point out something. You see how right here your master fader is jumping up into the red?
Yes.
It's going over 0. That's why you're clipping.
Okay.
So there's a really bad way to fix this, and in a correct way, or just a way better way. So the really bad way is you just put a limiter. It basically makes it so you can't do that anymore.
Okay.
That's bad because that's gonna crush your dynamic range. Everything's just gonna be loud the whole time. And it's just not gonna be good. You suck the life out of your song when you do that. And in mastering, your goal is to make it as loud as possible without sucking the life out of your track.
Okay.
That's what mastering is. So the correct way is you go through and you turn everything down and then get it to the levels that are nice, and then you change the level that you're listening at.
Okay.
So that's the right way. For here on this, what you should do is first let me show you that the limiter does work, and sometimes it is nice. Like I have one on. It's nice because if you're not worried about that right now, then you can just slap it on and continue working, and you can come back and do it the right way a little later. Also, limiter is also just kind of safe. It's not really. You won't have problems with loud sounds usually while you're producing, but if you're experimenting with sound design or in live sound, limiters can be a really important safety feature. So go ahead and load up a limiter. So go to your slot. I usually put it in the last slot just because it doesn't matter which slot though. Okay. So just click a slot, open it up.
Slot 8.
And then, in fact, don't right click the slot.
Right click the slot.
Yeah, right click it. So just right click it and a plugin picker. Now type in limiter or just lim. It'll pop open. And all your
where am I typing?
You just start typing. Oh. You're in control. Go back to all. Okay, so you see how your limiter is selected?
Yes.
So now go ahead and just double click it. It will load it on the channel for you.
There we go.
That was weird. Okay, now hit play again. See that purple?
Yeah.
The purple is it turning down your sound.
Okay.
But it'll get, you notice that that crunchiness is gone now?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is just a quick fix. And again, you don't want to do this because all that purple stuff was part of your sound, and now it's just getting lopped off and lost, and it's not gonna sound the same.
Yeah.
And like if you had a really punchy kick drum and then you turn down that punch and you just lop it off right there, then it's gonna sound more dull, and people call it squash. It'll have a squashed sound. So now the correct way to do it is you go through and you lower the faders on your channels. So I noticed that you're not sending stuff to your mixer yet.
Yeah, I did try to do that, but the way I tried to do it was through the channel rack. So, like.
Oh, but it kind of stinks because all the names and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but it ended up just being the.
Oh, you are sending stuff to your mixer. Okay.
Yeah, but just the drums. I didn't know how to get the other stuff over here.
So go ahead and pause. Go to your harmless on number 6. Hey, did you make these sounds?
Yeah, I made them.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
I made them. Yeah. Cause yeah.
So let me close that. Okay, so yeah, click that. Click the little cog icon up at the top. And then we didn't update your FL. You got to remind me at the end of this.
Okay. Yeah.
There's track number it's on.
6.
Yeah. So I'm gonna teach you a shortcut that'll make your life better. So if you ever load up I'm gonna load up a harmless. And here's a harmless. And I'm going to name it. You want to name and color it first if you're going to do so. I'll name it like, chord sound.
Okay.
And then in here, I'll also color it.
Oh, you can put icons?
Yeah, you can put icons. I'm going to color it. I'll make it like purple or whatever. And now after it's colored and stuff, I will then hit Control L. Remember that. Control L.
Control L.
Control L. You
it.
hit Control L, and it shows up in a channel named and everything. And then you can you can just hold Shift and scroll with your mouse wheel to move it around if it put it in a spot you don't want.
Great. That looks fine to me.
Yeah, so now you can load effects and additional things in here and take advantage of all the effect processing you have.
Ooh.
So yeah, you're able to add reverb and stuff that might not be in the synthesis engine you want to use.
So should I just go ahead and load the channels, the remaining channels real quick?
So, well, let's look. I actually really like where this is. I want to start a new beat
Okay.
and go through it piece by piece. So let's open up a new file. I'm already on mine, so I'm just gonna keep it where it is. There's some other things about the Fruity limiter. A lot of people don't like starting with it on because it also adds delay to your signal because it's what's called the look ahead limiter. So it delays your sound so it can capture anything before it happens.
Okay.
And there's a couple other problems, but I'm just gonna ignore all those problems for now. But yeah, a lot of people don't work with it on at all, and they just turn down sounds if they're going above. So okay, cool. So on this one, the first thing I wanted to do was let's make a intro first. So how do you want your intro to be? Intros typically either start, you can have a chord progression intro, a melodic intro, or like we could just start with some drums and lay down a feel of some drums.
Let's lay down some chords.
Some chords first? Okay, so I'm gonna lay down my chords, you're gonna lay down your chords, and then we'll reconvene. And then you'll do your sound design like you did. And then let's set our tempo for like 90 beats per minute, somewhere in that range.
There's got to be a faster way.
If you right click, you can go to type.
Thank you.
Or yeah, they even have 90 right there. Also, where you click on here, like if you click on the 9 and drag, you'll change things faster.
Oh, okay.
Then you clicked on like the little numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll come back, and this should just be like a quick, simple, easy chord progression.
Yeah,
so we'll
sure.
slap that down. Here we go.
All right.
So I'll go first. This is what I came up with. It's this nice. I got this nice pluck sound, and I came up with this.
Nice.
I'm gonna start with that, and then just a couple of tips on the way I did this. I worked with the snap knob off, so my notes did not snap to their position. And then I sort of moved them around according to what I thought, sounded nice by using Alt. Or I didn't need to use Alt actually, just because I had the snap on. But I hold Alt because I have a habit of holding Alt when I want snap off. And yeah, I just tried to keep voicings that are similar. The sound design's really easy. I used what's called an envelope. So a Harmless doesn't have this, but a lot of synths do, where this controls how fast the volume decays. So it starts really fast and then turns down very quickly.
Oh, wait. Sorry, can you say, I zoned out for like a little bit.
Oh.
Can you just say that about that?
This is an envelope. And envelopes basically just give commands every time I hit a note. So if I turn this off,
Yeah.
and so it's just basically turning down the volume really fast for me.
Okay.
Over time. And then this has a chorus on it, which is similar to the unison, and I have a unison and a verb on it. And I'm also, actually that might be it. I'm also adding a little bit of sub. You can actually see the harmonics. So that's the spectrum I had created.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with that. My idea is as it opens up, I have to do something like this. I'll bring that harmonic in. Well, right now it's just that little thing. So what do you have?
So I just have like a basic chord progression in F minor. And
Okay, cool. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to make an intro. We're gonna just play that thing twice. So I'm gonna put it down 2 times. And then, yeah. Select your pattern. Oh, well, you just need to double click on that to open it back up. Whoa, what the heck? You just reached, what are you reaching for? No, don't click that. Okay, wait, hold the phone. There's a better way. Just hit enter. Now, we're just gonna drag it back open.
okay, got it.
Yeah, and then you can drag open more. There's the little resize thingy in the corner. Yeah.
All right, so pattern 1, I guess, will be chords.
Yeah, so drag it in twice into your playlist.
Okay. Boom, boom.
Cool. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a plugin. We're gonna automate it to open up over time.
Okay.
So send that thing to a mixer track. So mine's going to track 17. I'm just gonna name it chords.
Okay. Mine is gonna.
It's not going to a track, so remember that keyboard shortcut?
Yeah, it was Control.
But you
L.
gotta have it selected first. So open up the morphine that you're using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Control L.
Control L. There it is. Now on your slot, you're gonna load up a plugin.
All right.
So we're gonna load up, go to more plugins. Just click on a slot to load a plugin.
Any slot?
Yeah. And go to select more plugins.
Okay.
Mine's still loading. It's at the very top. It's the very, very top. The very, very, very top.
Oh, more plugins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And now type in fast. There it is. So now what we want is we want to grab the Fruity Fast LP.
Got it.
This is a simple filter plugin. It won't show up by default, so I load it this way. You can make it show up if you want, but I don't mind loading it this way. And so all it is it's a low pass. That's what it stands. So remember what a low pass does?
A low pass opens up the high end.
No, the exact opposite.
It opens up the low end.
Yeah, it only lets low frequencies pass, so it cuts the high end.
Yeah.
So when we turn the cutoff knob, it will change the frequencies allowed through.
Okay.
So go ahead and right click it and go to create automation clip. We're gonna move it in time. And what we're gonna do is if we play it right now, it's unaffected, and we're just simply going to bring the first point down.
Okay. Here, let me just get up in there. Wait, how did I? Oh, there we go.
Woo!
Okay, so now I'm bringing the first point down.
Right. You don't want to be too zoomed in. I mean, I could get closer for sure, but here now this is what the effect is. For me, it's a little more pronounced. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit because it was a little too affected at the beginning. And I'm gonna bevel it just a smidge. Yeah, like bring yours up a bit just based on because yours is gonna be similarly.
Yeah.
Now hit spacebar and check it out. You gotta be playing in song mode. In fact, actually bring this down more. Bring the first point down a little bit more.
Got it.
And now look at the knob. You're automating this knob. So hit spacebar and it's moving it for you.
Oh, that's dope.
Let's see if we can get you a little more tonal of a sound.
Okay.
So come in here and let's just see what other patches we have.
All right. Do you want me to get rid of morphine?
No, you can stick with morphine. Just go to the program name and just dig through a couple presets. So you don't need to click that. Just click the down or up arrows next to the patch. So it's gonna be all fancy for us. Yeah, just click another one.
Okay. What about?
I just try a bunch. Just go up and
I
down.
don't know.
No, get another one.
Okay. What about angelic MC?
Okay, see, I like it's that's a lot more. We can work with that for your chords.
You like this?
Yeah, play that. Play it. Yeah. See, so when you're doing sound design, certain sounds will be tonal, and that will, or not tonal, but they'll have specific series in them that'll allow them to play chords a lot more like chords, versus sounds that have frequencies that are like all over the map. They're going to be crazy. So if you look at the each one of these lines, these orange lines, represents the amplitude of some harmonic. And if you remember that first sound had this huge wave of just crazy harmonics everywhere, and this one's got a really like easy to see one. So this is just a basic saw wave. But when you pick a sound, that's something you want to consider. Is this sound supposed to be a drone? Because if you think about that first sound, you could have it be a drone, but it won't really mess up your chords and things as much because it sort of is ambiguous
right.
tonally. This one has a really specific series that's easy for us to understand. And so it's easier for us to be tonal with it.
Okay.
My sound has a really sort of, the pluck at the beginning is really atonal, but there's some very specific harmonics that form a spectrum. So it's very similar to your spectrum actually. Mine just gets softer faster. If I open up the sustain, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our difference. Now hit the space bar and listen to just the filter work on this sound instead. I don't know why it's doing that jump thing at the
I was
end.
gonna ask you about that.
I was thinking at first it was your audio interface, but it doesn't look
You know what
like
it could be? Here, let me try something. How do I go back to?
What the heck is causing that? I don't know. I mean, it could be, I suppose, but doubt it. Mine doesn't have an issue. Okay, so it could be your audio engine. So hit F11.
Nope.
Now hit play. No. What the heck? Okay, wait. Go to the filter on the mixer. So F9. Turn the filter off by hitting the green button next to the name. Now try it.
Whoa!
It's the filter? What the heck? Okay, wait. Why would it do that? That's so weird. Okay,
Discovering.
let me add a filter to mine. I've got the demo version too. That's funny. We're both using plugs. Do I have the fast low pass? Pretty fast LP. There it is. Okay, I have a filter on mine now. What the heck? Why doesn't it like you? Hit space. What the heck? Okay, try this. Try turning the fruity low pass back on. And try it again. It works. What the heck was that about? Okay. we have our sound. You have your sound now.
Have my sound.
You have it. We've got it. Now we need to, at this point, you have to ask yourself, what is the next element you want to come in? And for now, we're just going to do drums.
Got it.
We're going to bring in some just rad drums. So now we're going to select some drums. I'm going to pick my drums. You pick your drums and make a little drum thing. And then we'll get back together.
Got it.
And get some that just sort of is groovy and works well.
Cool. Let's do it. It's weird. How do I make a new pattern?
Oh yeah, that disappeared at the bottom. I always make new patterns by clicking the little plus icon next to that. That's how I typically do it. Oh, it's back now.
Oh.
No, that's your computer's playing jokes on you.
Yeah, this computer. I think
It's a good computer.
We should just sit down and figure out like what's the sabotaging? Why am I being sabotaged? So how do I adjust this?
How do you adjust?
Yeah, like I want to do something different with this purple line.
Oh, okay. So first, you don't want to affect what you've already done. Oh, you've already made it unique.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a genius. Then you just do whatever you want. As long as it's a unique clip.
Well, how do I put?
Oh, right click.
Oh.
Yeah, right click. And then right click again on the on a point.
Oh, right click here.
No, right click on that's the bevel. So that's when I say it. But if you right click, you get a bunch of different curve options. Go back to before you mess with that, go back, drag that point down, the one you just added. Now we'll change that bevel in the middle. The thing, that's what the bevel controls. So you drag it up or down, we'll change the curve. I usually work with one curve and then I sculpt my stuff in, but there's other curves you can mess with. They're just, you're having trouble getting a certain shape you want, you can mess with that. There's some really crazy ones in there too, like noise or whatever.
That's interesting.
Okay, so you have your drums. I was about to do some contact stuff. And my drums sound like this just by themselves. So go ahead, right click your drums. Oh yeah, oh you just have one pattern? Okay, go ahead. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna show you my drums in context. So here they are, a little more context. I like how the snare fits. I don't know. Now I have an advantage in that I have like just tons of samples to just go digging through.
Yeah.
So go ahead, show me your stuff in context.
Okay. Context, here it comes.
Just start right at the drum loop.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to do it, man.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go from the beginning.
No,
Like, oh no, we can go right
you know
there.
what I'm saying, man?
So go ahead, stop it. So there's this idea of rhythmic complexity that the listener needs some sort of something strong they can grab in order to sort of make sense of it. And then you're allowed to get sort of more complex from there. And then more advanced listeners don't need this as much. So for example, in mine, I have here a really strong 2 and 4.
Okay.
And that allows me to get away with some of these more intricate hi-hat rhythms. I'm not saying change yours yet, because I want to point out, notice how after listening to it for a while, it became like yeah, that makes sense. But upon my initial listen, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of like rhythmically dissonant, which is not bad. Rhythmic dissonance is the same thing as harmonic dissonance. In the right spots, it can be really musical. Okay. So I think at the beginning, you might find a way to change it a smidge, and then you can move in that direction. So it's sort of like you have a good final idea, but you need some sort of an intro. So for mine, like if you just listen to just this, if I just take everything, all the fancier moving things away, that's what my core was. And if I put my other things in, they serve to move towards the beats that are important. So, you know, it doesn't go do or like something weird. That doesn't serve some weird service. So you want to ask, where are the important rhythms or important beats you want to emphasize? And then all the little sounds you pick should ideally serve the larger rhythms, just like a melody will have a focal point.
Okay.
So let's go ahead, adjust it. And then one other thing that we're going to do now is you were already starting to do it, is that you should now start adjusting your sounds so that they musically transition at this point. So here, we've done this thing with a filter. The filter opens. And then that's the new thing. So that keeps the listener's interest. And when you listen to it 1,000 times while you're producing, it can sound boring after a while, but you got to remember the initial listen, because people are only going to listen to it like one time. Yeah. So you always want to sort of be in that mindset. And then here I say, okay, now that they've heard these drums, even if I vary them up here, I think it'll be more helpful if I change the harmony. So I actually keep similar chords, but I start moving my way down. And so here, so I'm going down, and I keep out down. And it just makes sense as a musical line. That's what should happen. So for now, when we split up, go ahead, adjust your drums so that they sort of find like a pulse that you'd like to emphasize. Because if you look at any, that's what a meter is, like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 1. So that kind of a thing. And then go ahead and adjust your chords, and then you're already messing with the filter, and see if you can get some cool things.
Okay.
And feel free to open up the engine, and if there's a parameter you'd like to automate, it's really easy. You just right click on it, and just say, oh, when you mess with this, you like the effect it produces, right click and just go to create automation clip. And you can automate it in time. Because maybe you say, oh, this would be cool if I like changed it a little. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
So let's do that now.
All right.
Show me what you got.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's those notes. I was going to ask you about that. So this is it's an interesting chord progression. The first chord that caught my ear, I think, was this one. I was kind of like, whoa, what is this doing here?
Yeah. That actually should have resolved down.
It sounds like you were going for like a cadence, because when you reach the cadence, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But before then, I'm kind of like, it like kind of makes me go, you know? So like, I might look at those chords some more and try to come up with like some smoother voicings or another chord that I think I might like more there. Yeah, this is good. So what we're gonna do now is, I'm torn between introducing you to mixing, but I think that's just gonna blow your mind right now. So what we're gonna do is, I wanna add in a bass. So we've got our little introduction thing, and what we're gonna do is, we've not had a bass yet. So we introduce our drums, and then at the end of our drum introduction, I extended mine by 8 bars. Then you're going to lay in a bass.
Okay.
So the bass will come in. The bass you're gonna make is really easy. Open up a harmless. You can also hit enter. And then bring the frequency knob in the middle all the way down. Now, if I go down 2 octaves, we have our bass sound. Let me turn that up so you can hear it better. You know, stuff like that. So we've got our bass sound. That's what we're gonna use. It's really simple. It's what we did is we took all the frequencies and we reduced it to a sine wave. And you'll only really hear it strongly in the low end because the filter will be filtering everything else above that. But I think this filter sounds like it's being key tracked. Yeah, there's keyboard tracking on it. So, because normally that you wouldn't be able to hear that. So, let me show you what I got. So I sort of developed it a bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and come up with a spot for it to drop like bum, bum, and no drums. And then the drums will come back in and there'll be a bass, boom, boom. And it'll just chill out for like 8 bars, 16 bars. I might add in like a little piano thing.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna go backwards. Then we're gonna grab this and do it again, and then we'll have the outro. which could filter out several ways. You could just end. I think it'd be nice to just go back to the original sound. And so we'll have this introduction, a new introduction with the drums, some musicality going into where the bass comes in with the drums. Then the bass is just gonna be like just like a big long filler, because mine sort of turned into this chill out track. And then it's just going to undo back into
Okay.
the little
I have a question. So, like, that's not really sounding very well. You can barely hear that.
I can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah, but it seems a little quiet.
Well, you can always just turn up the volume.
Right here.
Oh yeah, that works. You can turn it up there. Where you click on the key is going to change its volume. If you click closer to the edge, that's louder than up here. No, you have to click. See?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So you can test it at different volumes.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're going to do that. So add in a bass. Oh man, I've got the feels going on over here.
Dude,
Are you having a hard time?
Yeah, like
I'm trying to line up this bass line, but like,
I just don't want to line up.
yeah. So like, what's an easy way to like subdivide? These are 16th notes, right? Or 8th notes?
You're zoomed out. So those are okay, zooming in makes it a lot easier. Those are quarters. Those are sixteenths. The smallest divisions on that screen.
So these are all 16th.
Those are sixteenths.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing about writing music that's got a lot of stuff going on is it takes a really long time because you have to put so many more notes in.
And like, why does it only give me these?
Okay, so to fix that, this is actually a really good feature about FL. It's just unfortunate. So, because the other DAWs don't change their note sizes in ways that are very intuitive.
Yeah.
But click a note down,
Okay.
just anywhere, and then just on the end, hover over it, and a little, and to drag out.
Okay. So this
Just
is
drag out, yeah.
This is a beat then, right?
And it doesn't appear like, oh no, you're on a snap mode. Yeah, so drag that over. Then you're not on a snap mode. I think you're snap mode. Click your magnet guy. Oh yeah, go to, yeah. And then hold Alt to drag off the grid. So when you're on the end of your note, hold Alt and that'll let you snap it to the exact length of one beat.
Like right there.
That's how I do things usually. I work with that. Yeah. Now, if you have like, now write another note.
Okay.
Put down a new note just anywhere. I just want to show you a tip. And now make that note shorter. Okay, now put down a new note. What size do you think that note will be?
That size.
Okay, so click a new note. Just click anywhere. Now, click on this note. What size do you think your note's going to be?
So that's this size now.
That size. So
Whoa.
as you put down more notes,
that's
it'll
cool.
it'll be a lot easier. Yeah. So, that's just a quick way. So
I like that.
it is nice. So yeah, that's how you do it. Working in the piano roll is something that after you do a bunch of it, you'll begin to pick up tricks and you'll begin to realize the piano roll is one of the most powerful things about FL. Their piano roll is just top notch.
Yeah.
I've got some crazy sort of jazz stuff going on. When I was on my mission, there was this guy who, when we'd come home from church, he'd drive us home. And he drove this big green Jeep, like an industrial Jeep. It was basically just a frame with some chairs in it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like how we would go home. And we called it the Green Machine. And he'd always play these really like chilled out saxophone beats that were like jazzy, but like it was like a strange genre of house or something. And he didn't know very much about music at all.
Yeah.
He was just like, I like it. And he had CDs. He had so many CDs of these things. I'm like, where did you get these? He's like, I don't remember. I had them forever. He had no idea. It was hilarious. Yeah, every time I hear like really relaxed music now, I think of the Green Machine. John Hill from church.
The Green Machine.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. Oh my gosh. He was so cool. So the music was very compelling though. I still remember I have copies. He gave me some copies of it because I was like, I want this. This is like interesting to me. So, but it was really relaxed music, like incredibly relaxed. You could totally get high listening to that music. Like it was something else. Okay, let me show you what I got going on. I'm pretty stoked about some of the directions. I started adding this piano. So I just finished putting piano here. I'll start it right here. And I can't remember where I start putting in the new drums. Oh, I think the new drums happen here. Let me start one pattern before. So in order to change to the bass, I decided I'd thicken up my drums a bit. This is a really common thing. You start out with some drums that are thin, and then you add a couple layers that complement it. So in this case, I beef up my kick a little bit, like a low end. So here's what I got. I love that.
Nice.
So here, a couple things to note that I'm already planning is I want to add a transition that makes more sense, and I want to see if I can change the sound a little bit to make the piano fit in the context a little bit better. But I really like where it is. All the notes are very soft.
Right.
And it just fits the atmosphere. And I decided to do what's called a textual change.
Okay.
So before we had these plucks like brum, 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 brum. And I thought, we've listened to this for a while. We're at the, what is this? Well, a minute long. So I figured I'd throw in this change, and I want to toss in this piano. And I also want to see if I can somehow make the piano slightly more interesting with just a note change here or there. Nothing too crazy. Maybe I'll leave it the way it is. I just experiment with the bit, make decisions. But that's pretty much where I'm sitting right now.
All right. So let me give you the lowdown about what's going on.
All right, yeah, fill me in.
All right, so basically, I didn't really change anything. I fixed the harmony so it makes more sense, and then I kind of brightened it up by going to just F major right here. Drums are basically the same. I kind of
That is super dope. I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't sound corny or anything. That's nice.
I'll take it.
I like that.
All right.
That's Green Machine right there. So, there were a couple spots that I was kind of like, oh, and then you did something with it that just made a lot of sense. Like one of those spots was this intro line thing, and I was like, wow, that's actually really musical. And then when you do those chords, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But then you go to
and
this,
then I resolve it.
That last chord, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
And then you bring it in. I think this actually flows quite nicely. There are definitely things we could try and change up, but I'd have to like listen to it again.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. I want to start like here. Just things I'm like thinking like, what can we now do to enhance it? What can we like? Okay, so go ahead and stop it. So I'm thinking now you've got pieces there that make sense together. So what I would do is I would send your drums to a mixer track, and I would then begin to affect them. Specifically, I'm thinking the snare drum could probably benefit from either a delay or a reverb.
Okay.
So your snare is going to channel 2.
Yeah.
So go to channel 2 on your mixer or insert 2 and shift click that and name it snare. That way you know like what it is. And then hit OK. Oh, you color coded. That's nice. Very organized. Okay, so now just go ahead and go over to your insert and right click to open up the plugin picker. You're gonna load a plugin.
Oh, okay. Insert, and that's 2, right?
It doesn't matter what slot. Now type in reverb or just the beginning of reverb. REV.
Well.
Oh, yeah, I guess keep going. Reverb. Nothing. Okay, never mind. I guess it can't check like that. You want the fruity reverb, which is that one right there. And then double click or hit enter. Yeah, enter seems to be better. And then this is the reverb.
Okay.
And the basic controls you need to know about right now is these sliders on the edge. Let me just point on your screen.
Yeah.
So here are these 3 sliders, these ones. These ones control, this is basically like how much your signal is affected, and this is the dry.
Okay.
So you're gonna turn those up and down to change the amount of effect. So go ahead and play your drums. Go listen to it in context though. Yeah, you see though? I think it's gonna help fit a lot better. But you wanna hear it while your track's playing, because that's gonna be, you need to mix it. This is now, you're kind of mixing now.
All right.
You need to mix it in context, so you need to hear it.
Cool.
So you need to be playing it in your playlist, and then move like the track head to where some drums are. And now go ahead and mix it. See how much better the snare fits? Oh, that's the clap. It still helps.
Ooh. That's a little too much.
Yeah. Those are the early reflections. So there's the ER stands, it doesn't stand for Eric, even though I like to think it does. It stands for early reflections.
Okay.
And on this particular plug, there's like, I don't want to go too crazy, but basically the wet knob, you'll get a little more mileage out of the effect with the wet knob. We'll worry about details like what early reflections means some other time. So you'll change those to balance it, and then also put it on your snare. Your clap that really helps the clap. That's kind of low though. So go ahead, play it, and then find a spot that you think sits well. That might be it. Bring the wet up just a tad and see how that works out. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing for your snare. So change that name to shift click that and change that to clap.
Right here, right?
Change the snare name to clap, because that's not your.
Oh yeah.
That's not your snare. It's your clap.
Okay.
It says that's your hat though.
I don't know.
I am so confused. It sounds like a clap to me. Just check. Okay, now go to the channel 4.
Channel 4.
Oh, we put it on channel 2, which was a clap. Okay,
Got
makes
it.
more sense.
Channel
now.
2.
Yeah, go to channel 4. Name that one your snare. I don't know how I messed that one up, but oh well. It helped. It's called the happy accident. Oh, you're going pink. And then go ahead, load another reverb up. You can close this too. If you leave windows open in your background, they can eat processing.
Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah, you'll get things. So before you do this, make sure you've selected that channel. So click it, it'll turn green. Just clicking it. Yeah, so now you're on that channel, so load a plugin on this one.
Okay.
And so just go ahead, right click. You need to right click on the slot itself. Yeah. And then the reverb's over there in the corner. You've seen my screen and how this isn't really an option sometimes. There's just too many. But yeah, so now do the similar process.
Okay.
Remember, you're listening for the snare.
Yeah.
So let me show you. So you're looking at these. You notice the one with the bass.
Yeah.
Your snare doesn't have very much bass, so that's why it didn't really do much. But the decay knob next to it determines how long it happens before it like fades out.
Okay.
There's a technical definition, but that's basically what it controls.
Let's try it.
Not that long. Turn that down. So you might bring that up. You notice how it sounds almost dry?
Yeah.
It's actually it's filtering itself a little bit. At short delays will do that. So yeah, that's it. Now you do have a couple other. You have the size of a room.
Okay.
And you can basically just picture it as, oh, I'm in a theater that's really big, or I'm in a drum room. And that's kind of like, imagine a really long decay in a tiny drum room. It's gonna sound really different than in a big theater. Yeah, so that's reverb. That's one that you'll probably use a lot. You want to be careful about adding too much reverb sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just creates a lot of mud and just a layer of gunk. And other times that layer is what you want because it helps establish the mood. Like I'm relying kind of heavily on reverb, but it's kind of an interesting contour reverb because like listen to this sound. Like that delay is like some very specific frequencies. So it's not quite the same as like a reverb. And so like you can sculpt these interesting soundscapes by like selectively doing things. But yeah, that's reverb. Makes it sound a little more roomy. It allows you to place things in space, which is why I listen to this. I'm like, oh, I could probably benefit from that. The other thing I want to show you is, I'm just going to cover two today. So that's the reverb. I'm going to also show you the EQ. So go to the equalizer. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Go to your kick channel. So
Kick channel.
that's channel 1. So name your channel 1 kick. Yeah. Hit enter. Oh yeah, you like to color.
Yeah, I like to color.
You're very organized. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do the same thing. Right click over there and select the equalizer. Type in PA parametric equalizer. So PARA. There it is. It's the one in it's that one. Don't click that. That one sucks. Don't click that one. I just told you not to click that one.
Oh. Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not. You're not gonna use it like ever. But right click there again. Does that open up the plugin picker? No, you have to delete it. So click on the down arrow and just go to replace. And then look underneath equalizer. There should be parametric EQ2. That's the one you want. The second one, the number 2. They're named the same thing. That's why you were confused. So this is the equalizer. It allows you to turn certain frequencies up and down.
Hey, I remember this thing.
Yeah. So what you're gonna do now is, I'm not even gonna give you any pointers yet. Just do what you think sounds musical. So play it. This is gonna affect your kick drum because it's on the kick channel. don't know what's up with your what's up with that. Oh, I know what it is. That's because you're running a demo. That's why. It randomly cuts out.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, cool. So, I kind of expected this, and it's not what you did. Some people think that there's some sort of like book on the rules of mixing. There's no said book. So there's not really a right or wrong here, but typically you don't, well, not typically. I boost quite a bit, but I also cut. So you boosted like a ton of things. And so I think it's okay to use it as basically a volume knob. But sometimes when you do like a general boost like that, you might as well just use a volume knob. And then use this to change the spectrum. This is generally when you pull out an EQ, you're thinking of changing tonal characteristics of a sound.
Okay.
So you wanted more low end, and then you just boosted the low end to where you wanted. Now this can become problematic later if you add in more elements because they'll all start clashing. They want the low end. So you have to sort of find this balance. But yeah, you might want to experiment a little more with cutting.
Okay.
But when you generally EQ and you're new, I recommend doing broad strokes like what you did here. So you were like, oh, I'll broadly, and you found you've got like these two spots that that were not turned up. And so it's not exactly like a no volume knob could do what this just did. So maybe that might be merit alone, but you might want to consider generally you cut things and then you turn up the sound as a whole. So instead of boosting the bass, you might cut the mids.
Okay.
And then that would produce a kind of a similar effect. Some people claim they're like equivalent. I don't think they're equivalent. They're two different processes. They're gonna produce different aesthetic results, I think. Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. But yeah, that's an equalizer. I totally recommend just opening it up. Not every sound needs to be EQ'd, but a lot of sounds certainly could benefit from it. And the kick a lot of times can be shaped quite nicely with an equalizer. So you might also think about doing this to your snare. And let's go ahead now so go ahead, close this. On your, scroll over to the edge, it's not your drop, but your chill out section. All the way over. I think we might just call it here. But go ahead and let's call the video here.
Okay.
But why don't you fill it out? So we didn't quite finish, but I threw a lot at you this time. And I would definitely jam out on this for 8 bars, 16 bars, and do subtle changes.
Sure.
And then if you want to finish it, you can, or we could just pick up where we left off next time.
Okay.
It's so you could start something else, and then when you come back to this, it could be like you could compare and contrast.
Okay.
Kind of thing. But yeah, super nice. Let's go ahead. I'll play through mine, you play through yours, and then we'll stop them right there, and then we'll come back next time and we'll work more on them.
All right.
So why don't you go through yours first?
Sure. Mine's shorter.
And give it a go. That's so great right there. That's great. I love that part. You're not allowed to change that part.
Okay, well.
You might consider, I would definitely look at getting another snare. I think you could find something that fits a bit better. Now you know about reverb and EQ. You could sort of massage it in there. And then also I would look about when you bring something in. Because go back to the beginning. Over here. Where the drums come in, they seem kind of abrupt,
Yeah.
So you might think about some other way of introducing them.
Okay.
That's just that's stuff that I could I'm always fighting myself over it, whether or not I like how something came in. Okay, so I'll do mine. I think I'm gonna just not do these last ones because I think they're just repeated. Yeah.
Man.
It's just relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like
I really like what you did with like you have the you, but then like
these things?
Yeah, those are nice.
It's actually not that crazy of a move.
Wait, but there was something else I liked. Wait, play it right from there, right bar 13. I'll tell you when it comes. Right there.
Which part?
Right up. I think it's right here.
Oh, you like the step
little,
down?
Yeah.
Nah.
And it's subtle too. It's like
I messed it. I actually came in here and slightly moved a couple harmonies. I just changed the voice leading, like the voice leading right there.
Yeah.
I believe was different. I think it was down here before it went up.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so I changed that.
Oblique motion.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting looking at harmony through a piano roll.
I know, it's interesting.
It's like hard to...
You know, it's funny because like it makes you think about it a lot more. Because you can only put down one dot at a time.
And you have to think of all sharps, like all the time.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like...
they should really put some flats in there.
I'm amazed that it hasn't been done. I know, but it's on the list. I saw it on the forums.
Yeah.
They said it's on their list, which, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's been on their list for a long time. Mm-hmm. But it's on the list. That's an improvement. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I believe they also said it was on the thing for the next major update. But I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Subscribe. Have a blessed
day.